Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video, and this time of the SH Figuarts, Boba Fett. So, let's get started. Uh, Again, this is one of those things where we've kind of gotten a bunch of different versions, whether it's Black Series, Mayfex, Revoltech, and now SHF. I think they're the last to do it right now. And yeah, it's something that's been long awaiting. Now, if you're an SHF fan, I guess you won't be disappointed by Boba Fett, but if this may not be what you're looking for, a good alternative may either be the Black Series or the Mayfex. So let's get started. Uh, I'm actually pretty happy with the figure, especially because I have a lot of SHF. So this really kind of works out in my favor for the size comparison about what I usually get with stuff. Boba actually fits in my criteria, in my age range, so it kind of works out with me scale wise. But objectively speaking, it's probably one of those things where I guess it's kind of hard to explain as I jump into it. Is that SHF kind of aims for the clean look, even though it still has detail, whereas the Mayfix kind of aims for that all the detail look. If that's something I can explain, that I guess you would understand. And it's kind of hard to find the words for it, but I guess we'll find it as we go along in this journey, right? So let's jump into articulation. Boba can actually tilt his head a bunch of different ways. You can actually kind of make him sassy, moving his head to side to side. He can look up. He's actually very good looking up, looking down, rotating left and right. He is actually top full of expression on the ball joint that he's on. So if I lift up the helmet, you actually see like it's its own thing. So you kind of actually have to attach your own head as you see the ball joint there. And I'm going to try to plug that back in. There's a lot of wiggle room for him in there. The visor actually comes down as well too. I thought that was pretty cool. I was hoping they wouldn't keep it that way to where you couldn't move it down. So I'm glad they added that in. It's little things like that that go a long way. Backpack actually looks very nice, but all, very clean. I would actually have preferred a cloth for this. So I'm pretty sure somebody will be making a third party one soon. And then in the arm area, what's really funny is arm articulation is actually outstanding. You get that what you wanted on Jenga without things falling apart or falling off. Arm can rotate all the way up. Shoulder pads are on the arm. You have a 360-degree joint in there. Allows you for a lot of extra room. There is bicep swivel, and mine is actually pretty tight. So I got to be a little careful with that. Arms are double jointed, which allow lots of room for going up and down. And over here, we have these right here. And I'm not sure what they're called, so sorry for being a casual fan. But these may get in your way when you're doing certain moves or have articulation. As you can see, they kind of swing around there. But otherwise, wherever you move the arm, that's kind of where they'll stay in place with the shoulder pad. So keep that in mind. As you can see here, I'm going to move them up. But you can actually end up taking them off as well too. But if you don't want to take them off, they're totally fine where they are. Now, here's the big thing. Like, I know for those of us that bought Django, we were very disappointed in the simple fact that he had like the worst lower torso. That's not the case here. As you can see here, it'll swing around if you apply extreme force, but it's not like Django where it will be one of those things where it's a floppy mess. It is not the case here. You can actually rotate left and right. You actually have a little bit of room going forward. There's some room going backwards as well with Boba, but it's not a sloppy mess that Django was. It's far from it. We actually have the newer Stormtrooper technology applied here at the waist area, not the old drop down technique here. So as you can see here, leg can move up, but it cannot move past those butt flaps that they give you. But the legs are double jointed. There is a very nice and generous ankle pivot that actually allows you to slide and rotate out and go backwards and forwards with toe pivot as well. So as far as movement and range go, if you wanted to get really expressive with Boba, you actually can. So you can do running poses, you can do kind of sneaking poses and battle poses and things like that. So Boba can actually cover all of that sort of stuff. It's not one of those things where that's going to be an issue. Even, let's say we'll do a flight pose, right? On your jetpack, because that's the kind of thing that's important. As you can see, jetpack wise, technically Boba looks just fine doing flight stuff. Or even if you wanted to have legs both out and him just doing it, totally fine. You also get a nice ball joint here for the rockets to kind of express themselves. And this can actually fly over. As you see, I have had it back here. Fly it back down. So Boba is actually a huge improvement over Jango, but again, it's one of those things where it may be a little too late for some people. They may be over it, but some people may have missed out, and this may be their chance to finally have a really nice Boba Fett that is not the Black Series one, because that one is actually pretty nice as well. So let's talk about the accessories, right? Now that we've gone over articulation and look, and we have him kind of doing his thing in here, right? We have his blaster, his rifle blaster. Now I cannot remember the name. Maybe it's in a EE3. I've been trying to do my research and not be a filthy casual and just be a normal casual. And I'm not sure, but if I am wrong, pretty sure someone will correct me. But I've tried. And the blaster actually looks pretty nice. It is a semi-gloss kind of gunmetal metallic here. It's pretty nice. It's cleaned up. Like I said, SHF kind of goes for that clean look, and it's there. Then we have the trigger hands. There's no closed trigger hands. It's kind of always on a military point, right? So you can also use these as a secondary pointing hand as well. Then you get hands for when he's carrying a blaster in two hands, which makes Boba ambidextrous because you can actually do it in left or right. And then you get the open palm hands, right? So that's what Boba comes with. It's actually pretty simple for that of a bounty hunter. Accessory-wise, Boba is pretty light, I guess. So if you want to give him other stuff from other Stormtroopers or from any other body that's carrying any other sort of weapons, I guess now would be the best time to kind of do all of that kind of stuff, right? Now, one thing I do want to do is check out Boba next to his Mayfix counterpart, because I still have my Mayfix one, whereas I don't have my Revolve Tech one, right? So let's get these guys next to each other. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry about that. That kind of came out of nowhere, so I apologize. Oh, excuse me. Wow, did not expect that. Here he is next to his Mayfix counterpart. Now, as you can see, the Mayfix is bigger. It has attention to detail and the grittiness of the figure as well. Now, this is what I was saying. Not only is it a bit taller and has that height presence, they aim for a more color accurate grit look that was Boba Fett from the set, whereas SHF kind of gives you a clean version of that, which actually is a little bit smaller. As you can see, even the little ruffles in the pants is different. The paint actually looks dirty and worn here. So that's your differences that you're getting with the figure. Not to say that they don't have that either. It's just one of those things where you can clearly see one is movie detail and one is our interpretation of that. So again, depending on what you're looking for, you'll get that. One more thing that the Mayfix has that the SHF doesn't is the wires coming out of the arm, which is a pretty cool addition as well. So there's little things like that that kind of, depending on what you're aiming for, that's trying to pique your interest, that's how you pick and choose. Now, let's get him out of here and let's talk about how he stacks up with other Star Wars stuff and then other lines. Now, me being the silly goose that I am, I thought I still had my SHF Han Solo, which I don't. But I do have the Black Series one, and here he is next to Black Series Han Solo, whose neck actually pokes out a little too far for my liking. So I'm going to go back out and buy me another SHF Han Solo. And size-wise, as you can see, with Black Series, I think he works out pretty well. He's not too much shorter than them, but he's shorter. But I think in shots, this will actually kind of work out still, considering Harrison Ford's a pretty tall guy. So, yeah. Here he is next to SHF Luke Skywalker. I think these actually work. I don't think Mark Hamill was a pretty tall guy. Here he is next to my custom Jedi Leia. This is using her Black Series body with an old boy head and a CJ custom cloth. So you see she's pretty short. She knows what's going on though. Here we are next to SHF Chewbacca. As you can see here. So size-wise, we have a nice little bit of everything going on here. So let's move these guys to the side. Next up, we're going to go with the SHF Darth Vader. This is the second version, not the first one. So voila. Oop, caught you. So with Darth Vader here, Darth Vader's much taller, significantly taller. Here we are with a Black Series Luke Skywalker, which I forgot I actually owned. So he's not going to look his best. He's actually going to be straight out his poly bag. So Luke is actually pretty small, but I think it actually works out pretty well with that of the SHF. And then lastly, we have an SHF Stormtrooper for the Star Wars stuff to round it out. And I chose a regular Stormtrooper, not my Rogue One. So here we go. I think this actually looks pretty good with each other. I think they scale pretty well. Stormtroopers aren't bigger than, but they're around the same height. Darth Vader being taller, so that actually works out. Now we're going to compare it to other lines and other things, kind of see how we can get the cool things going. So let's get that started. Here he is, next to an articulated icon ninja. Not to say that he would get a ninja, but you never know. You might find a guy who's a space ninja, right? He's a bounty hunter, so you never know what you'll actually come across. Then we have cool stuff like how he stacks up against Mezco Gomez. You can see he's significantly smaller, but again, nothing a few action shots can't fix, right? Here he is next to a Mythic Legions Veritas. Looks pretty nice, right? Here he is next to an SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Kuga. Then we're going to stack him up next to a Hasbro Lightning Collection Gold Ranger. Right? Voila. Not too big, not too small. I know it may be too small for some people, but it actually does not bother me at all. Here he is next to a NECA Predator, in case you want to get your cross-universe bounty hunting on, or just hunting in general, right? Then we're going to do a 1000 Toy Synthetic Human. And last but not least, against Django himself from SHF. And the reason why I chose him last is because I honestly forgot, but I wanted to make sure I fit him in towards the end. And as you can see here, yeah, you can see what they had going on, what they had in mind. Let's actually pick you up a little bit. You can actually see what they were aiming for. And while looking strikingly similar, engineering-wise, they're different in certain places, so we know what's going on. In the meantime, guys, I do hope that you found it informative. I do hope that you enjoyed. And most of all, hope you do good, be good. Drink your water, guys. Later.